If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Hey guys, I'm back and it is Friday, March 8th. It's 10:28 p.m. and let's get into some Q-related news. There is plenty of it, and I haven't had an opportunity over the last little bit to bring it to you because there's been so many Q posts. But I have actually gotten rid of some of the stuff that I'd been collecting because it's old now, so I didn't want to bring you old stuff. It's like trying to serve somebody stale food. Who wants that? Nobody, that's who. I wanted to read you another comment that, and you know what? Unfortunately, when I copied this, I didn't copy who wrote this. So if you know, or if you were the one that wrote this, claim it because it's hysterical. And of course, this was in regards to me getting demonetized. And I had so many really kind comments and so many people that helped with coffee or joining Patreon, and really everyone pulled together and made this, really, it could have been really bad for me. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much. But I want to read this to you. Now, they were responding to the demonetization, and they said, "Grr, may they fall in a pit they have dug for the rest of us and you. May they have terminal jock itch. May they drool embarrassingly on every date. May they compulsively say ignorant, stupid things on every job interview and in front of every person they care about. May they always have a bad hair day. May they always stutter when publicly speaking. May their farts always smell. May their dark clothing always be covered in layers of dandruff. May their breath always smell of garlic and rotten cabbage. May every new attractive guy, gal they meet look at them incredulously and laugh hysterically at whatever they say. May they have serious challenges remembering and using their passwords and PIN numbers. May they reap what they have sown in nuking the earnings of others. May the executives concerned have relentless repeated nightmares of running down endless halls where they asylum inmates tear yet even more of their clothes off until they are totally naked, destitute, alone, and very frightened. May all the patriots in their lives curse at them to their face and rant at them about their treasonous, commie globalist, shill, traitorous actions. May they have repeated nightmares of the Constitution and Bill of Rights being memorized under the threat of non-existence. May they have repeated nightmares of being repeatedly laughed off a large stage in front of a large crowd. May they have repeated nightmares of being executed for treason. May they wake up every morning feeling like the worthless scoundrels they are, unless and until they repent and change their ways. May they have super explosive and draining diarrhea that cuts loose before they can reach the toilet every time they decide and or do something robbing patriots of income or freedom of speech. May they have repeated nightmares about their globalist puppet masters trashing, torturing, and executing them as their cabal-crats would anyone else. May they have repeated nightmares of being the most impoverished slaves on the planet. I'd wish worse on them, but this is a family channel, and I'm a nice guy. Besides, I'm sure God's vengeance will surpass any we could dream up." That is actually true. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So we are not to take vengeance. We are to love our enemies and to do good to those that despitefully use us. So that is my goal. But I did get a laugh out of this, and I understand the spirit in which it was intended. It was intended to be funny, and it certainly was. It gave me a laugh, and now it has given many of you a laugh as well. So thank you to whoever wrote that. Good stuff. All right. Here is something from Cat Turd. I love me some cat turd. Now, I don't like it when it's in my litter box and I have to scoop it out because it's smelly. But I do like the person Cat Turd on Twitter. They are a wonderful person to follow, and they are very witty. Anyway, Cat Turd. It's all over for her now. Representative Ilhan Omar ripped former President Obama in an interview published Friday, belittling his pretty face and saying his agenda of hope and change was an illusion. Attacking the Messiah is a career ender for a Democrat. Nice knowing you. Yeah, they're not going to take too kindly to you putting down Obama. Now, she's right. She's right. She's right, but for all the wrong reasons. So, let's go on. And this from Charlie Kirk. Facts. President Trump's White House is staffed by 374 employees, 95 fewer than Obama. Trump's payroll budget is $35.2 million versus Obama's $40.9 million. Trump will save Americans $22 million over 4 years in staff expenses. Melania's staff is just 10 compared to Michelle's 24. Yeah, like seriously, 24. All right. So yeah, and of course, Trump does not take a salary either. He is given a salary, but he donates it to one of the branches of government. I think every quarter it's different if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, he does not take a salary. He is not receiving money for the job he's doing, and he is the only person in government whose wealth has decreased since he's taken office. Most of these other guys and gals, their earnings and personal wealth go way up as soon as they take office. So yeah, big difference there. And of course, we've got, what's her face? What's her teeth there? Occasional cortex. She is now in trouble for campaign finance fraud, allegedly. So we'll see what happens with that. Not looking good. So let's go to this from Lou Dobbs. Tom Fitton, Schiff collaborating or colluding with Cohen for 10 hours. They didn't just meet, a little bit before he testified. They met for 10 hours. 10 hours. Can you imagine meeting with someone for 10 hours? What do you talk about? It's obvious they were collaborating. Obvious. 10 hours. Before the testimony is extraordinary and highly irregular. Yeah, I'll say. It seems you don't need to follow the rules if you're out to get Donald Trump. Ain't that the truth? It's like all holds barred because, they're just, if you're out to get Trump, they'll throw out the red carpet for you. Absolutely. Okay, and the SG report. It is now abundantly clear that Speaker Pelosi, who says we should not be suppressing the vote of our newcomers to America, she actually said that. Yeah, we shouldn't be suppressing the votes of the newcomers to America. Now you tell me one country, I'm just saying one country that you could go to and move to illegally and vote. Just give me the name of one country. You can't, because it doesn't exist. No one on the face of the earth, even small countries, no, you don't allow illegal immigrants to vote. These are not newcomers to America. They are illegal. They are transgressing our laws. They're criminals. You want to come into America, come in the right way. I came in the right way. There's a way to do it, and there's a way to not do it. Climbing over a border and waving your flag from your country is not the way to do it. I came to America because I loved America. I had always admired it. I had grown up traveling all over the states, and I wanted to be there. That's where I felt was my home. And I came, I abided by all the rules. I paid whatever money I was asked to pay. I provided 10 years of tax returns and everything else. I saw an immigration doctor to make sure that I had no communicable diseases, or that I was mentally fit, that I wasn't going to become a burden on the American people. Now I think that they missed it in terms of the mentally fit bit, but we won't tell them that. So anyway, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. And yeah, if they want to come in legally and be properly vetted and have their criminal records checked and all that, I had to prove that I didn't have a criminal record, that I wasn't I wasn't a threat, that I had a way to support myself, and that I would not be putting any American citizens in danger. And you know what? I was perfectly fine with that, because I knew that if the shoe was reversed and it was an American coming to Canada, I would want them to have to go through all that. So, yeah, most people that love America and are coming for the right reasons, they don't mind going through that. Yes, it's a headache and a hassle, and I wouldn't want to have to do it again, but you realize this is the way to do it. This is the way it needs to be done, and living in America is worth it to me, so I'll do it. So yeah, I don't have a lot of sympathy for illegal immigrants. I really don't. I don't. And if you're undocumented, I mean, I do understand these people are seeking a better life and all that. I get it. I really do. But yeah, it's not just the good people that are seeking a better life that are coming over, and we all know that. We're all perfectly aware of that. It's not the good people seeking a better life that is the threat. It's the MS-13 and the traffickers and so forth. So anyway, I don't need to tell you guys that, because I'm preaching to the choir. All right, now let's go on. This from U.S. Attorney John Huber, who serves as Vice Chair of the Attorney General's Advisory Committee, met with the new AG, William Barr, this week in Washington, D.C., and we've already looked at that because Q had made mention of that. So let's go on to this from Charlie Kirk. So, the Democrats have been calling everyone they disagree with a Nazi the last 3 years, but suddenly they don't have the spine to address actual anti-Semitism in their own party. Yeah. Everybody seems to be caving. Even Occasional Cortex, when she was asked about Ilhan Omar, was just kind of stuttering and didn't know what to say about it. And said, well, I guess everybody came down pretty hard on her. Are you kidding me? If that had been a Republican, can you imagine? Just imagine what would have been said and the row that it would have, kicked up. But since it's not a Republican, seems to be okay, and then you've got Nancy Pelosi saying, well, she didn't really understand the words, the weight of her words, what they, she speaks English pretty well. I think she understood. Just saying. All right. Now, and that goes to this, about the House voting for illegal immigrants voting. However, don't worry about it, seriously. And I know you're saying, what? Who are you to tell me not to worry? Because it's got to go through. It's not going to pass. It's not going to go through. I mean, okay, it went through the House, not going to go through the Senate. It'll be vetoed. Come on. House votes in favor of illegal immigrant voting. Yes, House Democrats voted Friday to defend localities that allow illegal immigrants to vote in their elections, turning back a GOP attempt to discourage the practice. Yeah, discourage the practice because it's illegal. It's like, yeah, we try to discourage drunk driving. You don't just try to discourage drunk driving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is just ridiculous. The vote marks a stunning reversal from 6 months ago when the chamber, then under GOP control, voted to decry illegal immigrant voting. We are prepared to open up the political process and let all of the people come in. Representative John Lewis, a Georgia Democrat and hero of the civil rights movement, told colleagues as he led opposition to the GOP measure. The 228 to 197 vote came as part of a broader debate on Democrats' major legislative priority this year, H.R. 1, the For the People Act. I'm sorry, wait. Eye roll, everyone. Okay. Which includes historic expansions of voter registration and access, as well as major rewrite of campaign finance laws. Do you know why all this LMS stuff is coming up right here? You know why? Because I was on the phone talking about this product because I was, I've got, she's probably, well, not probably, she is my closest friend. And she's 10 years older than me, but her skin is amazing. So she uses Elemis. And so I was talking to her about it because I said, what are you using? Your skin's fantastic. She says, oh, I was using Elemis. And now look at all the Elemis stuff that comes up everywhere I go online. Elemis, Elemis, Elemis. Yep. No, they don't listen to us. No. Right. Anyway, so the measure would have no practical effect even if it had passed. Illegal immigrants and indeed non-citizens as a whole are not legally able to participate in federal elections. Like, we're talking about local elections, but local elections still count. It's still important. Elemis. It's everywhere. Elemis. I'm going to be seeing it now till the day I die because I talked about it one time. It is good stuff, but it's very expensive, but it's good stuff. If she is any indication. All right, let's go back. No, really. Now, you know what? I told you guys that I would tell you the story about my most embarrassing moment, but I know some of you don't like all the chatting, so I'm going to leave it for the last. So if you want to hear it, it'll be in the last. It'll be the last thing I talk about before signing off. So I will tell you about the story because it is literally like, people say, well, what is your most embarrassing moment? Well, this just comes rushing back into my mind, traumatizing me all over again. All right. And I'm going to share it with you all because I feel like you guys are friends. Now, I don't talk about this to everyone. Well, now I do, I guess. Yeah, I feel like you guys can handle it. Okay, here we go. Let's go on with the news for now. Clandestine Rosenstein. I know many of you are going to be upset, but think logically. This vote, okay, remember I said don't worry? Yeah, pay attention to this. This vote means nothing as we have the Senate and the presidential veto. It does us plenty good as it's waking people up to the reality that the Dems want illegals to vote. It's theater and it's working for us. And he is responding to James Wood. Great person to follow on Twitter because this person, I love James Wood. He's very witty, very intelligent. House votes in favor of illegal immigrant voting. Hard to believe an American would ever have to wake up in the morning to this headline. Yeah, you can say that again. So yeah, don't worry about it because it still has to go through the Senate and it can be vetoed, by the president. So yeah, but look at it this way, because this is the way I look at it. Not that you have to look at it like I look at it, but this will give you a little bit more sanity if you look at it this way, because it does show everybody how ludicrous, how absolutely asinine they have become. And speaking of ludicrous and asinine, I wanted to show you something before I go on. Do you see this right here? I hope you guys can see it. Right here, right there. Yeah. This is my deerskin rug. Well, it's not really a rug. It's just a deerskin that has been, tanned. And so I took it to the Indian Reserve and got it done. And anyway, I know, that doesn't even matter. But anyway, I wanted to point this out because what happened right here? Right here? Yes, the kitten. The kitten got up there and was pulling out all the hair from this. Poor little deer rug. The other two cats, like my cat that passed away and my older cat, 21-year-old Picasso, is terrified of this rug. Probably because I said, look, you behave or I'm going to do to you what I did to that deer. But they know I would never harm them. But anyway, the little boy kitten is just all full of pith and vinegar. It's not piss and vinegar, you people. It's pith, P-I-T-H. I always hear people missaying that saying. I don't know why. But anyway, he's full of pith and vinegar, and that is what he did. Right there. Did you see that? Did you see that right there? All right, I'm going on now. I'm very distractible today. I don't know what it is, but I am very distractible. Now, let's see what this is, shall we? Yes. Oh, this warms my heart. And really, I'm not being facetious here or anything. It really does because, this, I I love President Trump. Now, I'm not deluded and think that this man, I mean, some people put him up there, you know, like he's right up there level with, I don't know, Jesus. Um, he's not. He's just a man and he makes errors. And you know what? He's not an angel. But you know what? He's the best president, I don't know, maybe that we've ever had. So, I mean, and probably Kennedy would, he was a good president as well, but he certainly didn't get the chance to, um, you know, fulfill his term. But anyway, look at this. Watch President Hug, President Trump hugs tornado victims in Alabama. I love this. And now there's a man that loves people. He really loves people. Look at him. Now, you know, I can believe that in Alabama he was made to feel very welcome. And from the pictures and from what I've observed, I observed that they were happy he was there. They were, you know, touched that he cared enough to come. And he really connected with the people there because, you know, he does have a common touch. He may be a billionaire, but he has a common touch. And I really do think he is a lover of people. I do. And, you know, a lot of people, when they have characteristics like that, you know, I always like to say they're pastoral. He does have that about him, a pastoral type of whatever about him, feel about him. He inspires trust in people. I know not everyone, but he certainly does in me. And I just think he's a president for the people. You know, he reminds me a little bit of, I mean, this could be taken the wrong way, but he reminds me in some ways of Princess Diana. She was the people's princess. Yeah, the establishment didn't like her very much at all, but the people loved her because she was just real. She was just real. And I see that with President Trump as well. And let me see this, what this is. I think, one second. No, that's not what I block. Okay, get out of there. That's not what I thought it was. Anyway, and here he is. That's another, it's the same couple. It's just another angle here. But I thought there was another one where they were looking at some crosses. And you know what the other interesting thing is that when I scroll down through here, I don't see any negative remarks. And a lot of times that's all it is just negative stuff, but not here. But there's another one where there's the crosses lined up for the 23 victims that died. And by the way, our hearts and our prayers go out to those families and friends. It's horrific. And I believe that a lot of this stuff comes about because of, you know, geoengineering and things like that. So I know that probably most people that are awake know exactly what I'm talking about, weather warfare, so forth. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, there's always been tornadoes. Obviously, I'm not being ridiculous, but there's always been tornadoes. But it's just been getting horrific in recent years. So let's go back. No, let's. Oh, wrong one. I'm over here. Okay, now this from Lisa Mae Crowley, and she's responding to BNL News. Ilhan Omar attacks former President Obama, pretty face and smile, who got away with murder, says policies were no different than Trump caging kids at Mexican border and droning of countries around the world. And Lisa Mae Crowley says, hilarious. After Dems bent over backwards to excuse her anti-Semitic comments, will they continue to defend her now that she's trashing their hero, Hussein? I don't think so. I think she better watch her P's and Q's if she'd like to remain in power. Of course, I would rather her not watch her P's and Q's and get out of power, but that's just me. Now, here is something that will make you angry. No, it will, really. But then I'll cheer you up afterwards. Is that all right? I mean, I hate to drop crappy news on everybody. And this was before she had a facelift, obviously, because she looks fantastic now. She really has had a lot of work on her face. And you know what? I'm not against that. As long as she's not using our tax dollars, then that's fine. And of course, she probably wanted to look good because she thought she was going to be president, right? So, because it was right around that time that she came on scene looking great. All of a sudden, looking younger, looking spry, but still stumbling all over herself. But yeah, that's probably why she thought, oh, I'm going to be in the world's view. I'm going to be president, so I better have a facelift. Yeah. Speaking of facelifts, have you ever seen Hillary lately? I don't think that's her. No way. Either that or she's had extensive work done. It's not her. Anyway, let's look at this. Bombshell. Feds drop 97 billion. Yes, I said billion. Taxpayer dollars. Yes, taxpayer dollars. Not just any dollars. Taxpayer dollars. Your dollars. My dollars. Taxpayer dollars on lobster, booze, toys, and much more. Oh, well, let's just find out about this, shall we? It's just money, right? Yeah, it's just money if it's not yours, right? When you have to earn it or do something to get that money, then it's, you take it a little bit more seriously. I mean, you don't go blowing money like crazy when it's money that you earned. Who cares where it came from? Claim your free Trump 2020 hat. Okay, well, I don't know where that came in, but the taxpayer will be forced to fork over their earnings to the federal government, so might as well live it up. Check this out from Free Beacon. Federal agencies billed taxpayers millions for lobster tail, alcohol, standing desks, golf carts, and more frivolous expenditures before budgets ran out at the end of the fiscal year. A new analysis released by OpenTheBooks.com found 66 agencies spent $97 billion. Now, that would have paid for the wall how many times over? Seriously. $97 billion last year, but these people couldn't find any money for the wall. No. Pelosi said, yeah, I'll give $1. Yeah. $97 billion. Last September, the final month of fiscal year 2018, the end of the year taxpayer-funded spending spree, including contracts with Coors, millions on iPhones, furniture, and CrossFit equipment. In the final months of the fiscal year, federal agencies scramble to spend what's left in their annual budget. OpenTheBooks.com said agencies worry spending less than their budgets allows might prompt Congress to appropriate less money in the next fiscal year. To avoid this, federal agencies choose to embark on an annual shopping spree rather than admit they can operate on less. So, you operate all year and you've got this excess of money left in the budget and you think, well, if I let them know that I've got this money left over, maybe they won't allot that much next year, so I better just go out and spend it. I might not need this stuff. It might be a waste, but heck, let's just spend it. Yeah, resulting government expenditures included $4.6 million on lobster tail and crab. Yes, that's right, $4.6 million. Now that's a lot of lobster. And crab. $673,471 on golf carts. Yep, that's important. $1.7 million on pianos. Why do we need pianos? Pianos? $1.7 million on pianos. Tubas. Oh, tubas too. And trombones. Wow. Pianos, tubas, and trombones. $9.8 million on workout and recreation equipment. And $7.7 million on iPhones and iPads. Yeah, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the fact that you are paying the government exorbitantly from your your earnings to pay taxes, and they are spending $4.6 million on lobster tail. How do you feel about that? I don't feel too good about it, to tell you the truth. I feel pretty irate about it. The federal government spent $2.1 million on games, toys, and wheeled goods. Wheeled goods. $490.6 million on furniture. Well, you do need furniture, office furniture and things like that, but that seems a little excessive. $490.6 million, especially. I mean, it's not like they had to go out and replace all their furniture at once. $62.1 million on household furnishings. Bureaucrats spent $1.1 million on standing desks, as well as $2.7 million on ergonomic chairs. Okay, well, I can see a need for ergonomic chairs because I have a spinal injury, so that is pretty important if you're working in an office. But $643,833 on sofas. That's important. And $40,379 on clocks. Yeah, there you go. I was just reading to see if there was anything else here, but let's go on. Yeah, you should look down and look ashamed and have that little sheepish look, Pelosi, because you were probably one of them. All right, let's go back. And this by Dan Bongino. Here's the sad, sorry face of the Never Trump movement. Rick Wilson is a deeply disturbed and troubled person who's become a tragic cautionary tale here in Florida. Rick has never recovered from his dossier debacle. He needs an immediate intervention. Now, look what he has said here, and please tell me why the Secret Service are not knocking on his door tonight. GOP establishment's Rick Wilson. Donor class must put a bullet in Donald Trump. That's illegal, and that needs to be addressed. That should not be happening in America. You shouldn't even be joking about things like that. It's not funny to anyone. Really, it's not. And it's just, he's a duly elected president. We elected him. We, the people, elected him. So when you are talking about encouraging people to put a bullet in a duly elected president, there's something real bad wrong with you. Seriously. And you too, Kathy, is it Griffith or Griffin? Whatever, she's not funny either. I mean, I don't find her comedy even remotely amusing, and I find almost everything funny. Not her. Okay, let's go on. And this from Joe M. Nexium is the flypaper that will keep adding new flies as we move towards disturbing disclosures of the pedophile club that controls DC. The 65K hot dog delivery was via one of Rainier's flights. Isn't that interesting? Instead, it transported children for sex parties inside the Obama White House. Now, this is interesting because remember, and you know, the $65,000 that Obama spent on hot dogs for the White House? Hot dogs? Really? You think he was serving hot dogs? $65,000 worth of hot dogs? No. And the thing is, you can't bring in outside food into the White House. Now, I know Trump did with the fast food. I don't know how that got around, but generally, you just don't bring in outside food to the White House. Everything's prepared there. So just interesting, 65,000 hot dogs were delivered on Rainier's flight. Who, isn't he in prison now? I mean, I know that he's definitely been arrested. So yeah, that's a little bit odd, don't you think, that Rainier would be bringing that many hot dogs to the White House? Gosh. Yeah, and he's the guy that ran the Nexium cult. I think we know precisely what was happening there. So we'll be looking for more of that to come out as well. Wonder how people will feel about Obama then. And Let's look at this. My gosh, what was that, Picasso? That was a great big, I have never heard a cat burp, but that's what it sounded like. All right. Don't know what she's been eating. All right. Paul Manafort has been sentenced to 47 months for bank and tax fraud. The illegal who murdered Sabine Durden, son, here in California, got 32 days in jail and then released. Welcome to liberal America. Yeah, it just depends on who you are. You know, if you're an illegal who murders somebody, well, you know, you get 32 days in jail. If you're Paul Manafort and they hate Trump, well, you get 47 months. It's not fair, and it should not be happening in America or in any country for that matter. Now, this is going to be really good news for you guys, so hold on. Just sit on you're going to have to sit on your hands just to stop them from waving. Really. I'm about to sit on mine now. No, I'm not. Okay. This is interesting. By Sean P. McCarthy. I can confirm the validity of these articles. George Soros has been arrested in Guatemala on child trafficking charges. Child sex trafficking charges. At this moment, he is on a plane to Cuba where he will face military tribunal at Guantanamo. Now, the interesting thing about this, I was hearing rumors of this and I didn't want to say anything because I couldn't confirm it, but this person has provided screenshots and it came out in the news and then it was scrubbed. It came out and immediately it was scrubbed. And here it is on Fox News. This person has screenshots. So I figure, all right, with screenshots, I'll bring it to you all, but I'm not just bringing rumors because that's how misinformation gets spread. So look at this. Fox News, George Soros heading to prison, liberal donor behind bars for child sex trafficking. That was from Fox News. Now, here's the screenshot from CNN. Now, this has all been scrubbed. George Soros, billionaire philanthropist, arrested in Guatemala on child sex crimes. So why would these two major mainstream media news outlets report on this and then scrub it? But this person, now I don't know, I'm just going by what they're saying, but these screenshots are pretty convincing if you ask me. Obviously something must have happened. And this person is saying, yeah, I can confirm the validity of these articles, but I don't know exactly who this person is. But obviously they're showing what was clearly being reported on Fox News and CNN, but is now scrubbed. That is interesting to me, and it will be interesting to see if Q addresses it. I surely hope so. All right, now, I think what I'm going to do, I don't know what this is, I forget. It says it's funny, so it must be. Or maybe not. Maybe I thought it was funny at the time, but now it's no longer funny. Or maybe I can't even get there. I can't get there. So there you are. I don't know. Let's see if I can put it in a browser and get to it that way. Because it might just be so good I have to bring it to you. Or not. I don't know. Oh, they've removed it. So whatever it was funny and they removed it. So it was probably about occasional cortex or Pelosi, probably one of those two. All right, now, I told you at the end, and this is the end because I've been going for a while now, and it's getting late, and you're getting tired. I can see you yawning. Okay, it's me that's getting tired. All right, I admit it. I will tell you the most embarrassing story of my life, and then, oops, save, cancel, and then I'm going to sign off. So, here it is. Now, you guys that don't want to hear it can just leave, because I don't want to hold people here against their will, telling them this awful egg story. Okay, when I was in high school, my mother's a teacher, well, she's retired. She's in her 80s now. So my gosh, she's not teaching anymore, but she was an English teacher and taught, well, my whole life. Her entire career, she taught. And so she was well known in the county. She was a well-paid teacher and had a lot of seniority. So she's just well known in the county. So of course, when I went to public school, everybody knew I was her daughter. And then, when I went to high school, it seemed like a lot of people knew her as well. Well, and I say that just because it'll make sense in a minute. But I'm at high school. Now, my mom and I used to, when I was in high school, I was like trying to lose weight and stuff. And, I had still carrying some baby fat and I was wanting to slim down. So, mom and I, this is when the Scarsdale diet was like the big thing. It was like everybody was on the Scarsdale diet. And I remember this little comedy show, and I don't remember if it was Saturday Night Live or whatever, but it was like they had this bunch of skeletons sitting around a table, and somebody comes in and says, "Congratulations, you've all finished the Scarsdale diet." And it did really truly feel like that. But anyway, I was on the Scarsdale diet, and one of the lunches was eggs, boiled eggs. So my mom, we were following this together and we were doing everything that it said and just following it to a T. And I'd get home and I'd say to Mom, "Did you follow it? You didn't have anything you weren't supposed to." And she'd say the same to me. So I go to school and I have these eggs, but I just didn't feel like eggs that day. So I threw it in my locker and I literally forgot about it. And so Mom had put it in a little Tupperware container that has like a seal on it. And so one day, months and months later, you know where this story's going, don't you? All right, yeah, months and months later, I'm sitting in home economics class. I don't even know if they still have that, but it used to be you had home economics and they'd teach you how to sew and do girly stuff. So anyway, I was sitting there and I'm sewing away, and all of a sudden I hear the loudspeaker and it says, "Mishel McCumber, report to your locker immediately, Mishel McCumber." So I'm thinking, I'm looking up and the teacher says, "You better go." So I'm like, well, what could that be about? I mean, like I all of a sudden had this sinking feeling in my stomach. And while we're sitting there, even just as I'm getting up, like the ventilation system shuts down and you can hear it shut down, and there's this horrific smell that is like wafting through the ventilation system, which is why they shut it down. So again, I guess I wasn't moving fast enough, because again, I hear, "Mishel McCumber, report to her locker, Mishel McCumber." So I'm going, and as I had to go upstairs and down a hall, and as I'm going up the stairs, I see all these people. And I'm thinking, what on earth is happening? And so someone sees me and says, "Okay, Mishel, come on, get in your locker, clean it out, clean your locker out." And I said, what's going on? And they said, "Well, we're ripping out this whole row of lockers." And I said, "Okay, so get all your stuff together, get it out of the locker now." So I'm going and I'm shaking because I'm thinking, what's going on? Well, not only that, the smell is overwhelming. Like everyone in the hallway, their eyes are running. People are going like gagging, like literally retching. And like people are moving away, like they're coming closer to see what's going on, and then they're moving back thinking, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" And so they're saying, we're ripping this out, we believe something has died behind the lockers, we're ripping out this row of lockers, and we're going to get it, and we're hopefully you'll be able to come back to your locker tomorrow and put your stuff in and put your lock back on. So get your stuff, clean it all out. So everybody had pretty much cleaned their stuff out, and it was at my place, and people all along this row were cleaning out their lockers. So I opened the locker. Well, this is what had happened. I threw some books in, and one of my really heavy books it was on the bottom in a paper bag, like a lunch bag, but it had been there for months. I don't know. And I was a kid. What can I say? I was a kid. And so anyway, it broke the seal. So when the seal broke, that egg, and they had been there for months and months, Okay, they had liquefied. The eggs had liquefied. Yes, they had. And the most horrific smell, well, as soon as I opened my locker and they went, oh my gosh, like everybody was like, oh dear Lord, what is that smell? And I mean, everybody's just, I mean, way over the top because it really is bad. Well, I'm there and I start retching, uncontrollably retching. And I'm like, and everybody, like people around me are retching. As soon as they get anywhere near the locker, they start to retch. And I can't remember. I think I took it and it was dripping all the way across the floor and I put it in the garbage. But they're like, okay, this is where the smell's coming from. What is this? They had to shut down the ventilation system. They had to air out the school. They couldn't even use some of the classrooms. That's how bad it was. And everybody knew it was me. This was a large high school. Everybody knew it was me. So the principal sent a little note home to my mom because he knows my mom. And he says, please refrain from sending lunches to school with your daughter ever again. And of course, he was joking, but do you think I ever lived that down? No, I didn't. It was extremely embarrassing because years later, people would talk about that smell and, you know, so not everybody knew that it was me. Not everybody knew me, but it's like, you know, you'll say to somebody, yeah, I was responsible for that. And they'll go, get out of here. No, you weren't. Yeah, I was. It was me. So that's my most embarrassing moment ever. So, and it would be embarrassing if you did it too. So, of course, I would have laughed really hard if you had done it. It wasn't so funny when it happens to me. So, that's it. That's my story. That's all I have for tonight. I've brought you the news. I've brought you the leftover Q from yesterday. And now I've brought you my story. So, tomorrow, it'll be either Q, if he posts, Q-related news, or perhaps I'll find those pictures and I'll do a video on the Denver International Airport. All right. So, I'm leaving now. And, yeah. Again, I'm at this awkward place where I don't know what to say. So, I don't know what it is. I just don't like ending. But I can't go on forever. All right. Good night.